G'day, mate, and we're Thralls of Metal back again. I'm Shredlord.
I'm Necrotic Nick.
And today we're going to be bringing you one from the Bayou, mate. We're going to be bringing you the Australian band Werewolves' newest album, The Ugliest of All.
Pretty sure they call them billabongs there instead of, bayous. Whatever. Anyway, this comes out also on the 19th of September on Back in Black Music or Records. I probably should have wrote that down. This band formed in 2019 in Australia. This is their 6th album. I got into them with their first album, The Dead Are Screaming, and this band has put out an album pretty much every single year of their existence. We've gone over their last 2, My Enemies Look and Sound Like Me and Die For Us. And this band is a feral blend of black metal, death metal, and maybe like a touch of grindcore, featuring current and former members of bands like Psychroptic, The Berserker, and The Amenta. And I was looking forward to this one as soon as it came out. I almost kind of forgot about it because it didn't show up on our list of releases. But I was also looking forward to exposing Shred here to something absolutely maniacal from Australia.
And he did. He showed me the thunder from down under, mate. And it was wild. So before this review, I was given a track to listen to, one of their previous songs, We Are Better Than You, and I said to myself, yeah, this sounds fun and chaotic. I better get in on the mix. And I wasn't disappointed. This was very much like meat and potato death metals on steroids. It was pretty good. It kicks off with the song Fools of the Trade. You immediately get this heavy push-pull kind of dragon riff right into the fucking balls-to-the-wall death metal. And that theme kind of continues out throughout most of the album as far as like the meat and potatoes go. But what makes it more of a steroid-injected meat and potato is the fact that they add certain things throughout these songs that give them a little bit more character and make them more unique, whether it is slowing it down for a minute while they arpeggiate some chords, whether it's chopping up the timing a little bit so that way it's a little stagnant or maybe a little off or even just a little bit different than what was going on to the previous. They made sure in these songs to kind of not just stick with the copy paste. There were things put into these tracks that made them stand out for sure.
Yeah, this isn't like grass-fed beef. This is meth-fed beef. The whole thing about this band is just harnessing aggression but playing it very cleverly. Lots of fun riff changes, switching back and forth between like just rapid-fire, thrashy death metal riffs, like stuff that would not be uncommon on Deicide albums or Malevolent Creation albums, and then switching over to like rapid fire, super aggressive, black metal songs like I Want to Be Offended and Skull Battering. Lots of these like just sharp, cold, jagged sounding like Marduk style fucking riffs. And all of this is met with a fair degree of irreverence, cynicism, disdain. I did not have the lyrics on hand, and I always want to look at the lyrics.
I wish we did.
Oh my God, it's generally just a lot of like, we hate this, we hate that, we hate you, we hate your kids, we hate your house, we hate everything.
And you're a limey grunt. How about that?
So they don't say grunt. We have to say grunt because YouTube are a bunch of grunts.
They'll strike us.
I started off by writing down like, all right, well, which ones of these songs are going to be barn burners, knowing full well that most of this will be barn burners, and actually the whole thing is. But that whole like dialed up intensity, like this is such a fast moving album, and it's just crazy drum work across the board. But again, they were clever about breaking it down and kind of like letting them sink into like a more atmospheric section for a bit. You get like cold, dissonant melodies that show up. Rats versus Snakes, there's some on Unoriginal Sin, which I don't know, I can't think of very many original ones anymore. And the breakdown on quite possibly one of my favorite tracks, The Enshittification. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what the enshittification is, but I'm 100% on board. I'm interested, and I am Googling. Which kind of brings me to another point. Not only were the song titles great, but this band makes excellent use of sound clips.
Dude,
yeah, in Unoriginal Sin, you get hilarious sound clips right into it. You even get a Dave Chappelle skit reference in there, Play the Fight riff from the John Mayer skit. I mean, it's hilarious. The very first track into the second track gives you like this, well, that's death metal, and it gives you, almost like some square on TV's explaining what the music is.
That's what we decent folk don't listen to because we don't want the devil to touch our genitalia in our sleep.
And their use, well, some of us want to be touched genitalically in our sleep, but Genitalically, I like that word.
Wow.
I'm creating it.
Genitalica. Oh wow, there you go. There you go.
I better copyright it for Lars and James.
Dick-themed Metallica cover band.
Dicktalica. Wow, I'm a genius. Anyway, the sound clips show a band with an excellent sense of humor, but also they were cleverly put in there as well, and it was a nice touch to add to it. As far as the barn burning aspect goes of it too, with this album being incredibly fast-paced, I appreciated the fact that every song on here is pretty straight to the point. You don't get much of anything over 4 minutes. I think there's one song, I don't remember which one, but there's one song that's maybe like 4.5 minutes, but that's pretty much it. They show you what their idea is, show you all the things that they can contribute to this idea, and then they're on to the next song, which helps tremendously for people like me who are kind of ADD, and the sense that I have to be constantly coddled to stay interested, something I'm working on, of course. But the fact that they were just in and out and didn't leave any kind of bullshit and trim the fat off of it made it much enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah, there's not really any fat to trim off of this. The riff changes are sharp, but they come at the right times. There's just enough like riff harmonies on here to actually add like a little bit of melody. Like the Ugliest of All, man, that insanely fast like hummingbird fucking wing picking on there. I mean, it's just kind of like an instant little earworm. Logoria has like probably one of the coolest breakdowns on the entire album, which I'm pretty sure they're talking about band logos looking like diarrhea. I don't know. Maybe it's Logoria, which sounds like the opposite of diarrhea when it's like just too big of a turd.
Unless it's just nonstop links, like little sausage links just ejecting from your ass.
Those are the worst. Hailstorm in a farm pond, that's what we call it. But yeah, they break it up with this like really cool triplet chug. There's a lot of awesome syncopation. And I mean, this has Dave Haley on drums from Necrotic, and a litany of other bands because he's just a beast of a drummer. And his mechanical, he's fast, but there's a lot of fun nuance. Like he's got some solid grooves in here where he's doing like some like dancing, like ride cymbal stuff. Unoriginal Sin has this cool broken up gallop in the blasts. But I mean, for the most part, he drives these songs to unimaginable fucking speeds. Because every song in here is fucking blastier in hell. Even Slaves to the Blast, which of course it should be. But that one also kind of takes it back and like, gives a little bit of a grindy sort of energy. You get like heavy downpick, kind of punky riffs. They could be thrash. But I hear grind. I definitely hear Napalm Death and like Misery Index and shit like that. But they keep going back and forth between all these extreme styles. And the thing about this album that I love is it does not let up at all. That's kind of like a universal thing across their entire discography. There's not a single album of theirs where I'd say like, well, they kind of pumped the brakes there for a little bit. And, we kind of had a moment to chill. That doesn't fucking happen on a Werewolves album. It's generally balls to the wall the entire time you're listening to it.
And the one thing we didn't really touch about yet would be the production, which the production was pretty solid. I do have a small complaint, though. I do feel like, maybe it's just the guitar player in me, but I feel like there are times when the vocals, the low end of the vocals, really kind of bury out the guitars, especially when everything's kind of crescendoing at once. Some of those guitars get lost, and it's a little bit of a shame because that guy's right hand is firing on every cylinder that is available to him, and there's some pretty impressive riff work all throughout here.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, this is just like riffs being hurled at you at Mach 10, like it's fucking Randy Johnson chucking riffs at your face. And the way the dude's fucking picking, I'm surprised like all the bones in his wrist haven't fucking disintegrated.
His wife must be a happy lady.
I do hear you on the production though, because at points like I do feel like some of the guitars were lost. Like when they were chugging, they definitely got some heft to them. But when they were doing some slightly more atmospheric stuff, like there's some good cold, just icy kind of melodic riffs on here. But again, they're being played so fast, you're just banging your head like, yeah, whatever, man, this is fucking sweet.
And then you're out. And then it's on to the next.
Yeah, and generally the next one's heavier than the one before it. But at times, yeah, it does kind of get a little bit buried. And I mean, with the constant double bass on here and the constant blasting, yeah, there are some elements on here that you kind of do lose. But for the most part, I think it's a pretty solid production. This was done by Joe Haley, Dave's brother, also plays in Necrotic. And just kind of find it weird that we're kind of complaining about the guitar volume from the guy that plays guitars.
We'll always turn the guitar up. No matter what the sound guy tells you, fuck the sound guy. Just turn your amp up. You guitar guys know what I'm talking about. I don't even need to say shit.
My only other gripe would be, and it's not really a gripe because it's kind of like, you know, the same thing I order from this band every time, is, you know, this sounds just like a Werewolves album. This sounds just like the one before that and the one before that. But at the same time, this band is just wickedly consistent. I'm not looking for a lot of variation in their sound. I'm looking for them to execute their sound. You know, I would say like this one might have a few more like thrashy breaks on it. There's some like good solid like Slayer, Sepultura riffs on here. But for the most part, what I want is that just explosive energy, like that dark sense of humor mixed in there too. And yeah, I mean, they just kind of fucking nailed it again. Not as though I can't get this sort of vibe from another album of theirs, but I'm still gonna probably get this one too. I do want to say there was one sample in here. We weren't entirely sure what he was saying. We have two schools of thought. I think I might be right. The song Skull Battering, the first lines in it, and generally the first line in any one of these songs is something super offensive and funny.
Hilarious.
But I'm pretty sure the dude says either your family tree is a fucking wreath or your family tree is a fucking lie.
But he probably says wreath, because once Nick explained it to me, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Basically, he's saying, you're an inbred fucker and your family tree just goes right back to your granny.
Yeah, Alabama family tree. That's wreath. Same thing.
So let's talk about ratings. Overall, I'm going to give this a 3.5. This was my introduction to Werewolves. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice meat and potatoes on steroids kind of vibe like we already described, but the thing that kind of sold me on it, I was already enjoying it, but the thing that really sold me on it was the clever use of sound effects, and the humor and the over-the-top vocals was very fun. It made it very kind of more enjoyable to listen and get into, and I got to be honest, the moment I heard that Dave Chappelle sound effects clip, I was immediately, by then I was 100% in. So yes, this is very fun. It's not completely stock. It has plenty of cool twists and turns to kind of keep you on your toes, but it's not going to be for long, because as soon as you get comfortable, they're going to shut the fucking song down and go on to the next one and kick your face in with that. So overall, this was a pleasant experience getting into these dudes. I'm going to say 3.5.
I'm gonna go honestly with the 4 once again. Like, I think I've given the last 4 but I mean, again, they're super consistent. They hit all the same points, and I can't remember if I made a reference to that Howling movie where it was in Australia and it had the marsupials, but this album is better than that movie. But then again, the Howling sequels are really bad, so that's not really the biggest compliment. But I don't know, once again, these guys just kind of nail it. Their dark sense of humor, the irreverence, and just the high octane fucking throttling that this album gives you. I mean, it's pretty much Werewolves 101. And I fucking still love it. Like, this doesn't sound old. This doesn't sound dated. It sounds intense throughout. Again, there's enough riff changes and variations in the music to keep it from sounding, you know, boring, which, I mean, this would be like the fastest boring thing I've ever listened to if I did think it was boring. The vocals are awesome. I think the production's pretty good for the most part. Again, like, the guitars were a little bit muffled, but I mean, if you're a big fan of Deicide, Misery Index, maybe like Belphegor too, I don't know. Think of the fastest, heaviest things you listen to, and it might be close to this, and then add a bunch of Australian humor, and then you will have this band. So yeah, check them out. So, if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. We also have memberships. They are only 99 cents, and our lone perk is doing a members-only live stream, generally about once a month. We'll probably do one sometime next month. But memberships are the main way to support the channel, and if you'd like to join up, there's a join button down there that I can kind of almost nearly guarantee you won't turn into a werewolf if you touch that button.
But if you did, that'd be pretty cool, and you should let us know and make a video.
But we're also not liable.
And last but certainly not least, thank each and every one of you, the fans, the fellow Thrallers, the people that take the time out of their day to watch our content, leave comments, interact with the other members of the community. We appreciate each and every one of you so much from the bottoms of our heart. You are the reason for our season, and we will keep on pleasing and teasing until we are cool breezing, baby.
Yes. But yeah, no, tons of content coming. So one more big thank you, because you guys are awesome, and we will catch you later.